welcome to the Breakdown, the show where we take some clips from across the week and break down exactly what went on at the City Ground. Now, I must say, I've already recorded this once. I edited it all, I went through, but when I looked at my timeline to export it all, it was emptied in a West Ham midfield in the second half. So bear with me. It should be up on Mondays, but obviously now it's Wednesday night and I'm re-recording it again. Because everything disappeared. But listen, we went to the City Ground and I must say, I wasn't expecting much. I'd like to say I went in optimistic, but this is exactly how I went in.
He's got the balance right. You're going to be glad to hear that I don't think we've quite got the balance right. Got holes all over the pitch, man. You said about your defence, it's brick-like wall. If Wes was a brick-like wall, it'd be Mr. Blobby's brick wall because it'd be fucking flopping everywhere, man. Because it'd be coming down, it'd be like Mr. Blobby walk through it. We've got the second most goals conceded in the league this season, although we are a little bit defensively better than under David Moyes, but not much. Raz Record says there's holes in the middle of the pitch. He just doesn't seem to be able to get the balance right. It's going to be an interesting game. I said we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose 3-0.
You were right last time, so I take. I
can just see this happening. It's typical West Ham. I think we go to the City Ground. As I say, first game out of London. We're not in great form. We're conceding lots of goals. I think if you get going early, I think it could be a cricket score. But I want to be wrong, Wolfie.
There we go. Another change in lineups from Lopetegui. Mikel Antonio summed it up most about what exactly is going on. Why are we doing not as good as we're supposed to? He says this.
Use the word transition. It has been a transition from David Moyes to Julian Lopetegui. You mentioned the style of football. What are the key differences between those two managers tactically?
Tactically, obviously, David Moyes wanted to be more compact, wanted to be more of a team that counter-attacks and breaks, and then just breaks quickly onto the team, where Lopetegui wants to be someone who has more possession, wants to control the game, wants to be more expansive so he can control the game more. So it's just learning a whole new way of football. Obviously, we brought in a few players as well, so just getting those players to learn how we play. It's definitely a transition, and I feel as time's going by, we're going to be better and we'll grow.
Now, of course, Lopetegui goes into the game. We lose the game again. Edson Alvarez once again getting sent off. Terrible decision by him, by the way. Henry Winter had a few things to say. What is going on with Julian Lopetegui this week? Now let's have a listen to what he had to say.
We're turning our attention to one of the games of the day, really. I mean, despite the fact of what happened with Arsenal and City, Nottingham Forest West Ham was amazing. Battle of the two goalkeeping managers. I don't think we've ever had that in the Premier League. But also, Forest. They've returned. Nottingham Forest v West Ham, Henry. We would normally say, oh, there's a relegation clash, a real 6-pointer. Forest are up in third place. West Ham obviously struggling.
And Forest are punching above their weight under Nuno, and West Ham are exactly the opposite. And West Ham have got some good players. You know, you look at that team, you look at Kilman, Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen obviously gives everything. So, yeah, a lot of pressure on J-Lo. The mood doesn't seem right amongst their players. You just sort of saw them just giving away silly little fouls, just looking a bit tetchy.
Are they not playing for the manager?
I wouldn't say that, because he is a good manager. But this is
he? This is the question.
Well,
is he a good manager?
Good question.
What evidence have we got in this country?
Well, it's a decent thing. I mean, he's got a bit of a track record. I don't know. I don't want to mention your mate David Moyes. Would you have him back in there?
I don't think you can go down that.
Word again for the third time. Gets to keep them.
But he's got to be under pressure, hasn't he? But
absolutely.
Then again, having made this statement move for him and backed him, you can't be getting rid of him in November, can you?
No.
International break coming up, mind you, next.
Which is dangerous. But they've got some good players who are not performing, and then ultimately you have to look at the manager.
So who's not performing?
Well, I don't think... Well, Kudus is a good player. I don't think he's always played in his best position. Paquetá, whether it's whatever he's got on his mind at the moment, whatever, he is a good player, and he is absolutely not performing.
No, I think West Ham are in a bit of trouble.
I must say that, look, I'm wearing a West Ham shirt today. I'm very proud to wear it. There isn't many players out there at the moment that are proud to wear that shirt. The criticism just kept on coming for West Ham.
Well, welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished Nottingham Forest 3. Could have been about 6. 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. West Ham once again finishing the match with 10 men. And it's time for David Sullivan to admit he's made an absolute fuck up here with the appointment of Lopetegui. He's got to hold his hands up. He's got to take responsibility. and he's got to take action coming into this game, the preview of this match. I said, I've just watched West Ham beat Man United, and off the back of that victory, I'm less confident of the game against Nottingham Forest. This isn't abnormal. This isn't a one-off. This is what we have been seeing this season. This is not a surprise. Doesn't mean you can't be angry about it. Doesn't mean you can't be pissed off with it, because I am. Just because I knew it was coming doesn't mean I have to accept it, because that was not acceptable from a lot of people. The thing is, there were some players out there, actually, they didn't do too bad. It's not every player had a bad game. There were some players did okay. I think Fabianski stopped it being a cricket score.
Yeah. Let's move on to talk about West Ham. They hit 14th in the Premier League with just 3 wins so far after their defeat to Forest. The gaffer, Julian Lopetegui, spoke to TalkSport and said his side got what they deserved.
It has been a tough day for us. I think that we didn't deserve to win or to draw the match. It's true. So the first half, despite we were losing 1-0, we were 11 against 11. I think that we have a very clear chance to draw. Unfortunately, we didn't score this chance. And after, in the next minute was the red card. So this is one key moment for the match.
He's making a lot of decisions, Lopetegui, which suggest he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. Went to a back 3 at the weekend for the first time. He had Antonio was dropped. He played Jarrod Bowen up top. I just feel that every week, because they're getting worse and worse, he's going, we'll go 3 at the back now, and we'll drop him, we'll play. With the money they spent was about £150 million in the summer. A lot of West Ham fans and football fans were saying, they've done so well with the transfer money. And you could argue, right, this is possibly their best squad since the Carrick and Defoe era.
But this squad that he's got here, they should be comfortably, I'm not saying they should be where Forest are, but they should be in that top 10 or pushing the top 10 because they're better than that. And the fact they find themselves where they are, that can only be down to Lopetegui and the players not buying into what he wants them to do. Yeah. Again, I've watched them play quite a few times, easy to play against. There's no real structure between the defence, the midfield, and the attackers. Look wide open.
Was it Chelsea carved them over?
Straight through the middle. No pace.
And also, I know they beat us, right? But we should have been about 3 or 4-0 up at half time.
You should have done. And do you know what? I know I was poking fun of you. That game there, and on the flip side, I felt for Ten Hag, because if he sets them up in the right way, if you win 5-0, everyone goes, wow. You don't, Ten Hag loses his job.
And ironically, it probably keeps Lopetegui in for another few weeks.
I do wonder, Lopetegui, when how long he's got left. Because West Ham fans, it's so funny, someone's put Moyes back, hashtag.
And I must say, very justified too. Look, a bad loss. Look, we poked fun at Manchester United last week. Is David Moyes, is Lopetegui David Moyes 2.0? Well, this fan on our fan cam seemed to think so.
Nicky Hawkins outside the City Ground, West Ham Fan TV. That's pathetic. It's awful. We're going down like that.
Get that Spanish Moyes-esque, worse than Moyes-esque cunt out. I'm done.
I don't think I've seen anything that's bad this week, but the best piece of punditry this week come from an unlikely source. It was Rory Jennings, in my opinion, on TalkSport, having a look at what's going on. Is David Moyes better than Lopetegui? Was we wrong to want David Moyes out? Well, the whole of the media would make you think yes, but this is what Rory had to say.
I think that, you know what people are saying to West Ham fans? It's so disingenuous. You know, when people talk about West Ham and the fact that they're now lukewarm, at very best lukewarm on Lopetegui, people keep going, I bet you wish you had David Moyes. Let me guess, David Moyes back. I bet you're regretting protesting about David Moyes. And I don't want to do West Ham fans any favours here, but it's so unjust, because what West Ham fans were saying when they wanted rid of David Moyes, I believe was fair. I believe it was just. I think it was a legitimate protest. David Moyes had taken that squad as far as he could. He didn't really suit West Ham United. Yeah. And the West Ham fans who were at Craven Cottage with a Moyes out banner were completely justified in their protest. When the club eventually got rid of David Moyes, when West Ham fans were saying get rid of Moyes, they weren't saying get rid of Moyes and replace him with a B-Tech version of David Moyes. They were saying get rid of Moyes and replace him with somebody who's exciting, enthralling, somebody that suits West Ham, somebody like Roberto De Zerbi, somebody like maybe even Graham Potter. They've gone and they've brought in a B-Tech version of Moyes. And now the West Ham fans aren't happy, and people are portraying that as West Ham fans being maybe disingenuous, and it's just not right.
Agreed.
Very sensible words there from Rory, my friend. He gets it, you know. Lopetegui may not have been the answer, but it was the answer to a question that we was quite rightly asking. Listen, it was bad at the City Ground. We come away 3-0 losers, of course. It was terrible. We got slated in the papers, rightly so. We got slated by everybody. And we need to put in a lot better performances, especially this week against Everton. But listen, that was the breakdown. That was a few clips that I've collected over the course. Not really a lot of comedy this week. But it's not funny. It's not funny when I'm looking back at it and we've lost. But there we go. Tell me if you liked it. If you see any clips over the week, after the weekend, after we played Everton, do put them in here, in the link in the description down below. I'll have a look, and I'll have a look at the clips and react to them next week. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. One thing left for me to say. Come on, you ones.